was born with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a neurological disorder that primarily affects body movement and muscle coordination. Although growing up with the challenges of being physically disabled has been more than I could handle at times, it has been equally fulfilling. My early childhood years involved many doctor's appointments, tests, and procedures. My extracurricular schedule consisted of constant physical, occupational, and speech therapy appointments. Instead of dance or sports, I trained for hours on how to communicate through communication boards and devices. I learned how to eat independently and do schoolwork to accommodate my high muscle tone and spasticity. My parents told me that I always showed great determination in therapy and school.
Her disability was definitely a surprise. I was very young when I got pregnant with Brooke, but I had an extremely healthy pregnancy. I had natural childbirth, carried her full term. She was 7 pounds, 7 ounces. We really didn't have any signs of anything, any disability or any issues at all until Brooke was about 3 months old. We started noticing some developmental issues because really Brooke just came out smiling, and she came out healthy and happy and a social butterfly like she is today. So really those very few months, where they're just developing a lot socially, we didn't really see anything there until the developmental delay came. I think probably one of the scariest moments for me was just seeing her go into, it's such a tiny child going into the MRI machine, and that's when I think it really started hitting me that life was going to be very different for us and for her. And of course, there was a lot of fear surrounding that. And then seeing those brain scans and being explained that there was damage to the brain, that it would never change, her disability or her diagnosis would never change, it would never get worse, but we were just going to have to overcome it to whatever extent we possibly could.
Just to be told that your daughter wouldn't be able to be a soccer player, a basketball player, but she could be a nuclear scientist. It carried its weight, so at first you want to know why, but you grow with it. No's not a word that she understands. She'll prove you wrong. If you tell her she can't, she's going to do it anyway. We've never treated her any different. I guess people treat her a little different. I mean, some people still talk to her like she's a child, but she's 24 and she'll let you know she's not a child.
I remember having some teachers and students that underestimated my ability of achieving academically. They would talk to me a little slower. There were even moments that my mom fought the school with decisions like putting me in resource classes or special ed classes. I think people expected that I would not be able to keep up. Although, it wasn't too long before they realized that my disability does not stop me from anything. I ran for vice president of 4-H in 4th grade and won. I cheered in junior high. I was nominated for the homecoming court in 6th grade. In high school, I was in 4 different extracurricular clubs, and I got to perform in a couple of school productions. Senior year, I ended up getting nominated for prom queen and won. I guess I must have impacted the student body more than I thought.
Things went very good for us as far as children, for the most part, treating her good, her finding friends. When we got to the junior high and high school level and the dances and the dating started, that was the only time that Brooke really struggled. It's the only time that she personally got down. I think there were many more times that she was just a brave, very, very bright, smart child. We were single parents. I think she was always trying to keep us happy, as so many single parent kids of single parents do. I think she shielded me from a lot, staying positive, and I stayed as positive as I could, and that was good. But when we got to that point, there were a lot of tears and there were a lot of letdowns, and she just really wanted a boyfriend or she wanted a date. And I got to give it to her. Brooke still went to dances and she went with friends, and she got through it. And I told her there wasn't a whole lot I could say, because what do you say to that? I'd just hold her and let her cry, and I'd say, it may not happen now, sweetie, and I know it's hard for you to understand, but one day there will be somebody with enough empathy and love, and they'll love you for who you are.
She dated, She had boyfriends growing up. You had guys come over, you know, they'd go out on the first date or second date, but then they realized, well, maybe I can't handle being in a relationship with, you know, somebody in a wheelchair. Really can't communicate with you. But if you're around Brooke enough, you understand her. She kept saying to herself, Dad, am I ever gonna find somebody? And I always explained to her, somebody's out there. There's somebody out there for everybody. They'll find you, you might not be looking for them. Well, like I said, this was the conversation we had 3 years ago, and now she's engaged to be married. So there's somebody out there. And the fiance, Brandon, he is a super kid, and he don't treat her any different than anybody else.
Brandon and I met on the dating site Plenty of Fish about 2 years ago. He messaged me first. I didn't answer back right away. I guess I was playing hard to get. Once I finally decided to give him a chance, I couldn't get enough of him. He was so authentic and caring. He was very understanding about my disability. Most guys that I liked or dated never truly accept my disability. But Brandon took his time to understand everything about my disability. Well, this guy must truly like me, I thought. After 3 or 4 months of talking, we finally met in person and went on our first date. It seemed so natural because we were already best friends by that time. Few weeks after that, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and about 1.5 years later, he asked me to be his wife. I am beyond happy that we will be by each other's side the rest of our lives. Some people have given us confused looks or ask if I am his sister. Others admire us. Like few times this woman started crying when she saw us holding hands.
People stare a lot. She gets used to it. She says she gets used to it, but the first night we went out and met, a little 13 or 14-year-old boy, he constantly was staring at her the whole time. And it bothers me sometimes, but you just kind of get used to it. People are going to stare at her because she's so different. I think what I like about her most is it's like everybody sees her in a wheelchair, sees her limitations, and assumes she can't do certain things, and that just motivates her and drives her because she's done everything that people say she couldn't. She's graduated college and been in beauty pageants, and she's gone to Europe for 2 weeks, and I think everybody just doubts what she can do, and she just proves them wrong every time. And we met online, and I was just really intrigued by her, and she was different. And I wouldn't want somebody to overlook me if I was in a wheelchair or disabled or, just different. So I feel like we had a lot in common, and I emailed her a couple of times to try to get her to talk to me, and we just went from there.
Brandon, you have truly amplified my view on love and commitment. You have handled the challenges of my disability and the craziness of my family graciously. With every challenge and hardship, you succeed to prove that you belong to me and I belong to you. I vow to honor, respect, and support you from today forward and forever. I vow to comfort you in times of sorrow and struggle, especially when the Saints or the Tigers lose terribly. It doesn't matter if we have it all or nothing at all. I promise to stay by your side until death do us part.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Make it.
I have always loved getting to have the opportunity to inspire girls and women with special needs. I am honored to be representing very special Miss Louisiana. With the title of the ambassador, I hope to help to inspire every special needs women and girls in Louisiana to chase their dreams. Because there's truly nothing stopping them from doing what they want to do.
I think Brooke is what every girl with a special need would want to be. She's accomplished so much in her life. She's graduated from college. She pretty much does things on her own. She has the ability to just make anyone smile. And I think the opportunity that she's going to give to these girls looking up to her is really going to make them feel like they can do anything. And Brooke has that way of making you feel that way. She doesn't let her disability get in her way at all. I mean, now that she's engaged, that goes to show girls that anything's possible.
The best advice I can give to somebody who is growing up with a disability is never lose faith in yourself. The hardest challenges in life usually end up being your biggest achievements. So keep on believing in the impossible.